Today is December 17th, 2024, as we wrap up to the end of the year, getting to our solstice on 12/21. And boy, the energies are really moving again. And so are the Psyops. So the most important thing you can do right now is make sure that you do not fall for the drama. There is false evidence appearing real absolutely everywhere, dropping like flies in the air, through the media, you name it. FEAR, false evidence appearing real. So, one of the first things that I want you to always remember, we win, we evolve, we ascend by our inner light, not by the things that are going on around us, not by controlling the things that are going on around us, not by manipulating anything or anyone, and not by spreading fear. What am I saying? The stronger you hold the light within, the easier it is to overcome everything. Peace comes from creating a reality from your inner self first and bringing it out. So when you start to understand that you are co-creator with the universe, that what you are seeing are projections of places you may have come from, you learn that the only way to create peace around you is by dropping back into your heart and not listening to your mind or what's going on around you. Now, I always say it's really important to, quickly pop in and see what's going on, perhaps quickly in the news, perhaps quickly in the internet. But you are going to be most fulfilled by refilling your toroidal energy field. And that's within, so that you can build your own universe. And the reason this is so important now is because when the solstice comes on 12/21, we again get another magnetic push. More plasma, more energy, more getting pulled into what it is that we want to experience. Now, because we came as a collective, and many of us here are from other places, what's happening is all of these new institutions will start to be put into effect. So, while those are being done behind the scenes with great love, with great unity, of course they're going to have to throw out every crazy thing in the universe to see who is with, moving ahead into peace and ease and unity, and who wants to hold on to the chaos and the crazy and the negativity. And each one of those decisions determines where you go, on which earth planet, whether you decide to ascend or whether or not you have many, many more lessons to learn. Now remember, ascension is this beautiful thing that you can be part of. It is heart-driven. It is not mind-driven. This is the reason why Psyops can be so dangerous. And I just want to go through a few of the psychological things that you want to question, you want to ask yourself, so that you can quickly drop the Psyop and move back into your heart, feeling completely okay that you have decided to live in peace and not in fear. Also understand that we have huge galactic help. After the humans did the ridiculous atomic bomb, that will never happen again. We have been protected. So number one, you need to erase from the mind, from the heart that all of a sudden some nuclear event is going to happen. It will not happen under this watch. We are way too far. We have held our unity consciousness and we passed that threshold years ago. But I remember specifically talking about a leap around 20, I think it was January 2023, that really things started to move forward for the collective in a positive way, even though people can't often see it. So remember, the very first thing that you do when you see a psyop is easily follow the money. What does somebody have to gain with this? Is this coming from some military industrial complex to make money? Is it coming from big pharma? Is it coming from education? What source is coming? Follow the money, you'll get the answer. Critical thinking. So of course, you always want to find out if it's coming from a controlled media group that has been paid all of these years, then you know that this is something just to create drama and fear. Go back and listen to my last video. I think it was, it talked about loosh. It is real. It also talked more about fear, false evidence appearing real. So while it's good to be informed, you don't want to let your heart drop into it and create fear and think that there's going to be some kind of major attack, because then your mind will play games with you. And as the last of the darkness energy is being pulled off, you do not want to be open to that whatsoever. We are holding our inner light. We are actually doing a really fantastic job, just in case you need a pat on the back. And that's the reason why more and more energies can keep coming in, because many of us are holding that light. So while it's difficult and our energy feels like it's drained and we've gone through all of these physical symptoms, we're doing it, guys. And they are very proud of us for holding strong. And I'm proud of all of you. I know the individuals who have sent me messages. You have grown so much in the last few years that I've been doing these videos. And for me, that is so fun. It is so fun to hear and so fun to see. So I joke here because I always forget to say, hit like, subscribe, and now do me a really big favor, since I'm going to be around a little while longer, to comment. Let me know how you are, who you are, what you're doing, what you want for the new year, and let's just really work together to make it all happen. So again, after you have gone through, realistically, where's the information coming from? You want to ask yourself, what are in a sense, those in control trying to do? Are they testing us out to see how we feel about something, how the collective reacts to something? Which, of course, you know what I would say. I would say, well, bring on our star families. Anything that highlights the skies and makes us more aware about how far Space Force has really come technically, our US Space Force, as well as how much help we are getting from our star families, from the galactics, I say bring it on. But you can't be freaked out in the meantime. You have to calm yourself down and center yourself so that we can collectively continue to move. Now, the verifying information is important. It's difficult today because, of course, as Napoleon Bonaparte said at one point, history is a set of lies agreed upon. So we've had so many lies about what our true history is. The best that you can do is read a little bit of information, see whether or not it resonates with you. If it gives you a stomach ache and you feel terrible, it's not the right information for you. It doesn't matter what other people think. It matters what the information is for you. because you are going to be on one track as a light worker, holding different energy than perhaps 80% of the other population is. But do not get sucked in and siphoned off of with your energy. And so, one of the things that, you know, it's always these seasons that people have a hard time with because there's just so much that is fed into how we should be, how we should act, what our holiday should look like. And I will tell you, there will be probably more than I would like to say of people exiting the planet again. But do not have fear and do not try. You're going to be sad. You're going to hurt. Of course you are. But the thing is that they get to exit in a beautiful way because the work for them has been done. So for them, it's automatic ascension. So I know, I just lost yet another cousin, and another aunt is probably on her way out soon. And so, of course, it brings back memories. You do feel it. But just like a few months ago, and I think it was over the summer when I lost quite a few people again, um, there's a totally different feeling in their transition. And in their transition, there is so much more joy. And just knowing that they made it, they got there. We still are here. We're going to do the cleanup. We agreed to do the cleanup. I'm happy to do the cleanup and the rebuilding and whatever it takes. But know in your heart that they're really okay and that they did make some choices you might not have agreed with. They may have chosen paths that you just would not have chosen. And that's okay. It's totally okay. Love them anyways. Be grateful that they taught you lessons while they were here, and just send them immense amounts of love for their transition, if that's what they're choosing to do. And so when you're working from the emotional stance, it's the reason why I wanted to put back on a video I did a while ago, which is called No Rear View Mirror Thinking. And also comparing yourself to others, which is totally self-destructive. Those are the two major traps that I find people fall in around the holidays. The holidays bring in this crazy like memory bank of all these things that, oh, other people are doing this, or our house should look like that, or we should be at this point in our lives. Rear view mirror thinking needs to go. Anytime you start to fall into that trap, you need to focus on finding happiness in the now moment, joy in what you're doing in the now moment, and just really feeling and believing that everything is falling into place and that good things are moving towards you. And just keep holding the light. Keep clearing your energetic field. Keep holding the light. That is the best that you can do right now. Putting insurmountable pressure on yourself to achieve something before the end of the year, making a whole checklist of this new person you're going to be, when the checklist might not even be relevant in 2 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever. Be careful about putting all that pressure on yourself, because we are moving into a time where we become timeless. We become the now moment. Joy comes to us. We bring the things that we need to us. So all of these crazy checklists that we might have gotten into before, it's time to probably start to try to let them go. All right, I'm just checking my notes. There is, in the waves of what's happening, really focus on giving your love to Mother Earth as much as you can and letting her bless you back. We are very much here to help in Mother Earth's transition into the fifth dimension. And by the way, she's doing absolutely fantastic. We have held the light with the new Earth grids in. We can become more crystalline, easier. We can fill in the vortexes. There's so much more that we can do, so much more pliable, almost magical. So continue to focus on that, because the more we feed her this love, the more she's able to expand. The more she's able to expand, the more that comes back to you. And it's just this beautiful love connection that comes and goes and flows. And it's really a huge purpose for us being there here. So as the waves came in, and I'm talking about a terminology that Dolores Cannon used. I talk about her in the hypnosis videos that I did a while back. So if you want to hear more about that, go find out how hypnosis really is real. No, it is not part of the devil. No, it is not some horrible thing. It does need to be used properly. And I do talk about all that. But in the waves of the groups who have come, some people define them as the people who were born between the 50s and the 70s. I actually think it was way sooner. I think, honestly, after the atomic bomb, I think that's when everything started to shift. But we have had, I'm in that group, 1965. We have had by far the hardest hits because we really are the way showers. We really are the ones who have had to move things when there really was nobody by our side. So you may find that if you're one of those starseeds, one of those light workers, I mean, you could have lost everything and everybody and more than once. But hang in there, because better times are coming. Then there's the group from the 70s to 90s. And while people say that it's been easier for them, it has still been a hard journey. So if you're still feeling it, don't feel like you failed at anything. But I am seeing more and more of you step up and really find and shine and find your light and call in you being a creator, you being an angel, you learning who you are. So do not be afraid, and do not be afraid to reach out. Whenever you see one of us, quote, older light workers talking, and or sharing information, never be afraid to reach out to us. We are here to serve you, to help you grow, to help you expand. And the younger groups that we can get to, we love that, because you are the ones who will be taking over. And then there, of course, are the groups from the 90s until today. Thank goodness those who have been born over the last 10 years are really going to start to get leaps. There are ones who have already arrived, who have clean slates, clear karma. They are just love bunnies. I mean, they are just oodles and oodles and oodles of love. So when you run upon and see one of those, you will just know it. You'll see them. There is just nothing but love. And I've talked about this before. So I just wanted to hop on and share that, because of course the news is all heating up. It's going to continue to heat up. We have the news that will heat up from now until January 22nd. Then we have financial institutions that will start really changing around January 27th as new laws come in. And then we will start to see the benefit of the fact that we have brought in the gold standard. And that has been running and operating behind the scenes for some time. So, but it is getting to the point that is becoming visible. It is becoming knowable. and we will leave the old fiat standard. We will be on the gold standard, and we will get these things in order. So try not to be so focused on the physical being that you're looking at who is in control and judging that individual. A lot of these players, this is going to sound very strange, but I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to absolutely stand firm on it. A lot of the physical bodies that you see are literally shells with strong beings in it who are able to, in the name of unity, of love, of universal consciousness, make these changes. We as a collective have done it, and therefore we are going to start seeing the benefit of it. So I don't want you to hold any fear. There is no reason. Things are looking better than they have ever looked. And if you hear this fear stuff coming from people, you know that it's not of an enlightened or a more highly evolved ascended master being, because they would never speak of horrible death and destruction, because an ascended being is going to look at there is a time for everything. There is a time when things decay and end to be rebirthed. And boy, are we going to be reborn. But not only are we going to be reborn, I mean, Mother Earth is going to be reborn, and Earth can finally take its galactic place, which we have been working on for hundreds of thousands of years. So, all of you, stay strong, stay out of fear, drop back into your heart. Know that you are loved beyond measure. Everything is falling into place. It is actually exciting, and we are going to move forward. So I hope this has helped. Again, please do subscribe, do send a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Have a beautiful day. Love you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, beautiful light warriors, old souls, and evolving beings. I hope you are doing well, and I hope you are actually feeling some of the energy coming in, because it's here to transform us, to raise us up, and to help us out. Now, last night, I was joking about the fact of how it could possibly be helping, because my heart was literally palpitating. It felt like it was going to jump out of my body. And it almost felt like anxiety, which is absolutely unusual for me. So I definitely knew that the energies were making moves. And I'm very grateful that I am able to actually differentiate between what is anxiety, what is excitement, and what is the energy coming in and coming through that is of the universe actually expanding. So it also affected my electronics. So on just last 2 days, I said there's nothing I can do, because it took an hour and 10 minutes to try to start the system up. So it is definitely time to get new equipment, but I'm getting there. So today I want to talk about cult psychology and the fact that it does exist, and it is so tricky, so deceitful, so manipulative, but we all fall into it. It is true masked mind control, and it is used daily. So I'm going to once again ask you to keep an open mind, because I am going to bring up cultural beliefs and color to, again, not limit, but help us expand and understand what's being put on us that is not even remotely close to the truth. So If you look, it was way back in around 2002 when the American Psychological Association actually started drawing attention to cult psychology. They did a huge conference on it. And unfortunately, once again, they literally seem to take us away from what's really going on in the world and how we can fall into their traps and try to put it on small little groups that exist. And what I want to talk about is this is way more prevalent. It's everywhere, every day, every few minutes. And we need to take control of it. So, according to the Psychological Association, mind control is the process by which individual or collective freedom of choice and action is compromised by agents or agencies that modify or distort perception, motivation, affect, cognition, and or behavioral outcomes. Well, gee, let me think about this a minute. Wouldn't that be our mainstream media? I mean, they're not telling us the truth, are they? And by not telling us the truth, what's happening? We're losing our collective freedom. Whenever these groups go out, whether it's Antifa or Black Lives Matter, they are going out with an agenda. And I am actually going to talk about Black Lives Matter for a minute. You can tell by my voice, I am Caucasian white. Yes, I was raised mostly in the United States, but I lived in Italy, Canada, and Africa. So, when the Black Lives Matter programming started to come out, so many people jumped on the bandwagon because they wanted to show that they support the Black population, which of course I love. But the fact is they're falling into it for the wrong reasons. And let me explain why. It is not just a Black life that matters. It is a baby's life that matters. It's a pink person's life that matters. It's a yellow person's, Chinese, Asian, purple, whatever you call it. As a matter of fact, extraterrestrial. Whatever it is that you want to call it, life matters. All lives matter. When you put up a sign that says that a certain life matters, you are automatically programming others, thinking that you're looking good because you're accepting all. But you are actually causing great damage because you are putting one group against another. And whenever you put one group against another and do not remain united, you are actually feeding the beast, the system, the matrix, and providing loosh. You see, if you actually cared about Black lives, you would go back and study the history of Africa and white colonialism and what we, white people, did to the Africans. Horrifying. What the large companies like Firestone and pharmaceutical companies did to the Africans in Liberia is so horrifying and horrendous that white schools do not teach the history properly. As a matter of fact, in the United States, I don't know of one school, and I could be wrong, that actually teaches what happened. Learning about true histories of where we came from, whether it's extraterrestrial background, whether or not it's Tartaria, whether or not our flat is Earth or round, whether or not the sun is hot, which it's not, how gravity is a big lie, you name it. Until we go back and learn the truth of everything and search for it and look for it, then we simply are creating the same problems. We're diving in and saying, oh, I'm holding up this sign, I'm a wonderful person. Women's lib. Women's lib is the biggest bunch of garbage ever created. And if you went back to find out what that was about, that was a whole other programming method. Now, do I think every individual should be compared to another individual and be able to get an equal raise? Of course I do, for the work that they do if they're working hard. But you see, by either saying that a color deserves more attention or a sex deserves more attention, you are simply feeding the issues. And I will do the topic of transgender, because transgender has nothing to do with organic beingness or choice of sexuality. This is an entire control system that is a parasite and is literally taking over the planet. If we do not choose to wake up to see what is going on, then we are contributing. Now, when you understand and wake up to what it is, you won't participate in the separation, because you will know that in your heart, above and beyond all things, we need to be united. We need to be as one. You can still love that individual that is going on that path, but you don't need to give it power. You don't need to feed it. And what will happen? It will peter out and go away, because not everybody else is getting up and doing it. It is the same reason why politics can be so damaging. Number one, the politicians we're working with are not at all who we think they are. Just like the Hollywood actors, Hollywood, as I say, are not who we think they are. One party is going against another party, and they're making us choose a side. Well, you know what my side is? The power of beautiful, heart-centered people. We, the people, by opening our minds, getting educated, not falling for their Antifa programs, not falling for the programs George Soros based, not falling for the media hype that they make you fall into, not becoming part of the cult that automatically pays or automatically is forced to donate to a group, is something that when we say no, will make those groups disappear. If they're not funded, they cannot exist. Corporations years ago made you pay into Amway. I would have nothing to do with it because I knew what Amway was. People are forcing you to give blood or donate to Red Cross because you think you're doing this great thing. Well, go check out Haiti. Find out what happened with Red Cross. Do a little research as to what Red Cross really is. It is nothing as what you think it is. And when you get to the bottom of what is really going on in those groups, you will realize that you were played, because your heartstrings said, I want to do something for someone. I want to be a good person. You're right. I don't want to divide people. I believe that everybody should be unified. Well, your actions by participating in any of them are showing the exact opposite. You have fallen for the mass mind control and separated yourself. And here's the thing. Unified means number one, we are unified with Source. By unifying with Source, we realize we are all one. What I do to you hurts me. What you do to another person hurts me. And you begin to be able to A, fix and repair your own issues, educate yourself and learn not to fall into the traps that are set up all around us, rise above to realize if you get out of the muck and the mind control and you stop feeding the loosh and the games and the monetary systems and the groups that are actually hurting you, they will simply disappear. And that is when we, the people, not relying on any agency, not relying on any agenda, not relying on any group, will actually raise our vibrations high enough to leave that matrix behind. You have the power. You need to stop giving it away. In the law of one, the only thing that matters is that we are one. And the only thing that exists is love. And some of the hardest lessons to learn is how to love the one who abused every system, every child, every person for their own needs. But when you learn to rise above and let go of what no longer serves you, and to be honest with yourself, to be honest with those that you put on a pedestal, to be honest with the fact that there will never be a politician, one single politician, who can step up and alleviate everything, but that we united and compassionate and heart-centered have every ability to let all of that go and create our own systems, our own world, our own place to be. Do you realize that by letting the cults go, by cutting yourself off from the mind control, that we automatically become heart-centered, and our heart centers actually unify with each other because the natural flow of unconditional love is to connect. You don't have to be with another person to send energy to another person. You could be out all alone in the middle of nowhere, and with the intention of sending love to the entire universe, to earth, the trees, the people, healing, all of that. With these new energies coming in, we have the ability to just move forward and let it go. Let it all fall apart. Let it dissolve. Let it disappear. The question is, can you let it go? Or has your daily living now become spreading news, spreading news, spreading news, trying to figure out what's the next event? Will it happen today? Will it happen tomorrow? What is going to happen? Let it go. The natural process is happening. Yes, be aware. Of course. Of course. You need to pay some attention. But playing and elongating and holding on to the results is slowing all of us down as a collective. So think about, what is it that I can do today to let go, to be love, regardless of what I see around me. Thank you so much. I send all of you so much love. I hope you have a wonderful day. Be strong. Empower yourself and let go of the rest. Love you. Bye. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, beautiful light warriors, old souls, and evolving beings. Today, I want to talk about something I call the rear view mirror mentality. No, this is not an official therapy or clinical diagnosis, but it's something that I often saw in my practice. And in helping people move beyond this concept and understanding how they are blocking and trapping themselves, I was able to help a lot of people. So I wanted to share this with you. You know how you're driving along and you take that quick peek in the rear view mirror and you quickly assess the situation? Oh, is it safe? What's going on? What has happened? And then you move back to looking forward. Well, you do not want to stay stuck in that picture of the rear view mirror, because if you are only looking back, you cannot forge a new path forward. And I want you to try to conceptualize that rear view mirror as a 3D, third dimension type mentality. It's one dimension, it's stuck in a time. It's not flexible or fluid. It's something that happened. Now, it could be positive or it could be traumatic. It does not matter. What matters is the residue that's left with you because of that one experience, that one clip, that one snapshot, that one thought, that one emotion. The fact is that as a multidimensional being, you are now able to expand and grow in so many different directions. But the only problem is if you're holding on to those past rear view mirror mentality thoughts, ideas, impressions, way of thinking, and way of acting, you can't see ahead, nor can you experience all the beauty of the things in your peripheral vision and all the beauty of the pieces that you are pulling forward into you. And the scariest part is that rear view mirror snapshot, it's actually a trap. It's an illusion. It's something that tricks yourself into believing things were a certain way. You know how people often turn around and they say, oh, I just want to go back to when times were easy and perfect and I was in love and all these other things. Well, you are simply picking one little moment of time, and you most likely are not actually filling out all the other pieces that were going on in your life at the same time. So, yes, you might have been young and in love, and the world seemed great, and there were all these limitless possibilities in front of you. But in the meantime, you didn't have a penny, you didn't have a pair of shoes, you didn't know where your next meal was coming from. So, the most important thing is that we start to accept things for how they were, the emotional residue they left with us, and then we have to be willing to let go, to move on, to put that in the past so that new experiences can come to you. One of the things that I spent a lot of time on helping people with is how they romanticize certain scenarios. And of course, society plays into this so well and keeps us trapped in that matrix. I'm reminded because we just passed St. Valentine's Day. And this is where a certain holiday can trigger feelings. For example, a Christmas or a birthday or some type of commercialized day that has made us believe that if we don't get this flower, we don't get this Valentine, we don't get this gift, that we're not valued or that that person doesn't love us. This is conditioning. Number one, if most people knew what St. Valentine's Day was, the massacres and the amount of sacrifices that occur on that actual day, no one in their right mind would ever make a point of exchanging gifts on that day. Conditional love is when you have to give something to someone to show them something, to get something in return. This is not healthy love. Unconditional love is the things that you do for people out of the blue because your heart just wanted to, and you really do not expect anything in return. And it is unconditional love that we are giving as light workers and starseeds and wanderers when all we want is to be able to help you move through the circumstances that you are in so that you can come into the higher vibrations of love, unconditional love, where we actually help each other out with no agenda. But if you continue to romanticize old thoughts, oh, maybe I shouldn't have left that relationship because it was really good. When you go back and look at it, you most likely will discover that relationship was not an unconditionally loving relationship. It had conditions to it, and that person would definitely push the buttons to make sure that you stayed conditioned the way that they wanted you to. This could be in a marriage. This could be a long-term relationship. This could be a parent-child relationship or with your own parents. Conditioning love is not healthy. It is not healthy for you. And if you are staying in that type of relationship, there is a very good chance you are enabling and also stopping the other person from following through on their soul desires. Even if it means the minute you let go, that soul, that individual, whether it's an adult child or it's your parent, or again, it's a marriage type relationship. If you let go and that individual does a tailspin to their final end, that was what they needed to do. It is up to you to let go and let their guide step in and help them. You were not brought to this earth or this planet to sacrifice yourself for anyone. You are a source being. You are strong. You need to save yourself first. Again, that is not narcissism. That is loving yourself so unconditionally, you will put up boundaries and you will not allow yourself to be treated the way that you were in the past. It means not clinging to those old false ideas of what society has told us. Oh, on this Valentine Day, on Halloween, on Christmas, on Hanukkah, whatever it may be. Don't fall for the traps. If you are participating in those types of celebrations, you are actually creating loosh. Please go back and look at my other videos on loosh. You'll understand what I'm talking about. But you are not creating unconditional love. You are falling into a broken system, as I call the matrix. You are looking at life from one dimension, from that rear view mirror. And this will never help you grow. The past is gone. The only moment you have now to get yourself together is this now moment. And the only way you can do that is by going within and being honest with yourself. You have every potential, every power, and the universe is giving any and every amount of energetic help and individuals to plop into your life at this time to help you get that lift up and out of the place that you've come from. You need to drop the statements like, in order to be a good person, I should do this. No. To be the most incredible, unconditionally loving individual you are, you go within. You go quiet. You seek the answers. You strengthen with source. That changes your vibration. You change your vibration, everything you see and everybody who starts to enter your life will come from a higher dimensional frequency, and life will start to flow. You will start to thrive again versus just surviving and fighting for everything. We are no longer in the days, nor should we ever have been, at the place where you point your finger at somebody and tell them how it is. No. Everybody needs to learn from their own perspective. Yes, do I wish that everybody would take the time to learn and to grow? Wouldn't that make the world a much better place? Because if we saved ourselves, we wouldn't need to save anyone? Absolutely. And that's what some of these lessons are about, to help you become the best that you can be in every moment of the day, and to let go of thoughts like, those were the best days of my life. Well, you can't go back. If you did, you would most likely see there were many other things that were going on at that point in your life that were not all so great. So embrace the now moment. Embrace everything that you've learned. Let go of the snapshot, and definitely let go of the emotions attached to the snapshot. They will only weigh you down. They will make you the drowning person that needs to be saved. And we're at a point where we need to step up, step out, not fit in, but expand out. So I'd like you to think about that. Also, if you've enjoyed my messages, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and definitely share. I am finally opening up a couple spots, some readings again, and I will post some information on that. I'm placing them now at buymeacoffee.com because I'm simply trying to streamline where information goes. These intuitive readings are catalyst readings. They are not meant for therapy. They are meant to take a look at your unconscious, something you haven't been able to look at or you don't know is happening. But I can see very clearly from another perspective through drawings, through information, through what people put down. So I will start posting those and a location to be able to reach me. Don't forget, you can get me at ask.starseed@gmail.com. I'm getting some fascinating questions coming in, and I will get to posting some answers on the ones that I think will help people the most. So that section is not for what's going to happen in my future, your personal questions. It's more general questions. All right. I am sending you so much strength. I am sending you expansion and open-mindedness in your thinking to help you stop your rear view mirror mentality and all of these other things that we do that keep us trapped in lower dimensions. The higher dimensions are here. Go enjoy them. Figure out how to get there so that your life goes with the flow. Love you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, beautiful light warriors, old souls, and evolving beings. I hope you are doing well and managing through all the crazy day-to-day information that comes in. And I want to talk today about why comparing yourself to someone else or another person's situation is nothing short of self-sabotage. And to be honest, it just needs to stop for your own well-being. We have been so programmed in society that we do this automatically all day long, all night long, even in our dreams. And then we start again the next day. We are 24/7. Compare yourself to others. What are others doing? How did they achieve success? How did they make so much money? How did they become gurus? How did they become light warriors? What is it that they have that I don't have? All of this comparison has to go away. Because you are actually a divine being. You are connected to Source. And Source did not make you, nor does it want you, to be anything other than the perfect, unique, crazy, twisted, some days perfectly imperfect being. You are here to learn lessons, to grow, to hold light, to seek truth, to finally bring knowledge to this planet, to let go of extremes, whether they're negative or positive, and find compassionate neutrality. And then the best part is, once you have found more of the balance, going with the flow, going within, and really, really connecting with true source, being, universe, whatever you call it, what happens is you get to start to co-create with every higher being out there, because they want what you have, because you have a physical body to explore and be. Now, many higher beings have chosen not to come into the physical, and that's why they're staying in the spiritual, because they have a much different view than we do. Neither is better or worse. We are each here for a very specific reason. It does not matter that you don't know what it is yet. It simply does not matter. So stop being hard on yourself. Stop telling yourself, oh my goodness, that person can do telepathy. That person is connected to so many different star systems. They know they're a Palladian or a Sirian or Orion, or they know they've been through the Orion Wars. They know they're super soldiers. Look at everything they know that I don't know. Don't do that to yourself. You are there to be love to you, to connect with Source, to raise your vibration, so that then we can all vibrate in a higher collective way to bring in beautiful new experiences, removing what no longer works, getting rid of the programming. If you are still falling for the celebrities, or the musicians that made it, or the red carpet events, or the magazines of who's who and what they're doing and who's with whom, you are falling for pure illusion. The individuals are not who you think they are. They are not married the way you think they are. They are not the body parts that you think they are. They are not the humans you think they are. They are not having those children you think they're having. You are being lied to from every single angle. And you still look at that TV commercial or that ad and go, wow, I want to look like that person. That person is so gorgeous. All of those comparisons are doing one thing. They're telling you, beautiful human, you are not enough. You're not good enough. You don't look good enough. You don't walk well enough. You don't play well enough. You don't have this skill. You don't have that telekinesis. You don't have that telepathy. And all you're doing is sabotaging yourself with negativity. Because even if you're not saying it out loud, without giving self-love, you are cutting off a huge portion of the beauty of being able to be a vibrational being who operates with higher density beings. Higher density beings love individuals who are comfortable in themselves, always willing to grow, always want to find more truths, are willing to laugh at ourselves because we mess up. Oh my goodness, do we mess up? And when you mess up 100 times, a million times a day, don't worry about it. Tell the universe, ha ha ha, I love myself. I am so perfectly imperfect. Can you believe I just fell into that trap again? That's love. That's loving yourself. And then you connect up with Source and you turn around to Source and say, okay, Source, I want to co-create with you. In my co-creation, I am certainly letting go of some of these things. And boy, am I bringing in abundance for all, love for all, compassion for all, light for all. We no longer need the old systems. So if you're playing in the old systems and constantly pushing out your opinion as if you know something more than someone else, purposely to feed your ego, you are falling into the category that you don't think you're good enough. And the fact is we are all good enough. We are all perfect the way we are, even as we're growing and messing up. You can't compare, nor do you want to. Perhaps I went through the Orion Wars. Perhaps I remember my Pleiadian background. Perhaps I have telekinesis. Perhaps I have this healing abilities. Those were worked very hard on. And you may just be working on your intuition right at this moment. But you know what? If you're just starting to work on your intuition at this moment, that's fantastic. Because then you lived a life up until this point of practical things you needed to do and experience. And you're giving Source that benefit. And a lot of the things that we do when you come to a 3D reality and live in duality are things that hurt ourselves. But when we compare ourselves, it is so slick. It sneaks in so quickly, but is such a manipulator, such a lie. It's what I talked about when we separate out cultures, colors, races, all of those things. Many of them were manipulated to be used against us. And the only way that we can rise up is to start loving ourselves so much that we can laugh at our imperfections. We can look in the mirror and go, wow, I chose you. Okay. I'm not exactly sure how come I'm not 6 feet tall with long blonde hair all the way down to my feet and can eat anything I want. I don't know why. But I chose you. Ooh, beautiful body. I'm going to work with you. And you know what? Your beautiful body will start doing what it is that you need it to do. And you'll be like, well, now I understand why I am who I am. And you will start to love it. But you won't love it if you're looking at the advertisements or if you think the celebrities are who they pretend to be. You won't find it in repeating the same information over and over and continuing to wait for events to happen. You will find it by going within, finding such love for yourself that the only thing you can possibly exude to the outside world is your love for each and every other person who's here, knowing we were picked. We were picked to come down to this planet. Millions, maybe billions, did not get this opportunity. So while you're upset or complaining about how hard it is, and boy, oh boy, do I feel it too. So my heart goes out to everyone who's struggling. But we came down, and not only were we chosen to come down to do this, we will get to see the final conclusion, which is unimaginably wonderful. And we will get the feeling and the knowing that we made it through. And we are collectively placed in all these odd locations around the planet, which is why you may find yourself one day going, wow, I'm not exactly sure how I ended up in this state or this place or this room or wherever you may be. But you were divinely placed there. You ended up there because Earth needed your energy in that exact location. You are that powerful. You are that incredible. So start to claim it. Start to pay attention to when you are comparing yourself and where you think you should be at this point in your life. Throw all of that away. It's a whole new start. Start thinking about all the things that will fill your heart up and make you want to enjoy every second of this crazy, wild journey. You're worth it. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful, exciting day. Love you.